Every Holy Week, headlines from the Philippines capture global attention with a startling image: real people being nailed to crosses. It's a spectacle that often overshadows the deeply personal stories behind it. But how did this extreme act of devotion begin? Is it an ancient tradition or a more recent phenomenon? To understand its origins, we need to look back centuries, to a time when Spanish colonizers introduced Catholicism to the islands. Let's trace the timeline. 1600s, 1800s. Under Spanish rule, Filipinos embraced passion plays called the Cenaculo. These were community-wide dramatizations of Christ's suffering, death, and resurrection, becoming a central part of Holy Week. Alongside these plays, other forms of public penance, or penitencia, became common. These included solemn processions, self-flagellation, and making a panata, or a sacred vow of sacrifice in exchange for a divine favor, like healing a sick family member. These practices were never about shock value. They were profound acts of faith. Crucially, this new faith didn't erase what came before. It blended with indigenous beliefs about atonement, healing, and spiritual power, creating a unique form of folk Catholicism that continues to this day. Early 1900s, as colonial rule shifted from Spain to the United States, the Cenaculo tradition thrived. It evolved from a purely religious rite into a form of community theater. Entire towns would come together, with neighbors sewing costumes, building sets, and acting out the roles themselves. It was a powerful expression of both faith and community identity. 1955. A pivotal moment occurs in the barrio of San Pedro Cutud in Pampanga province. A local playwright named Ricardo Navarro stages a passion play called Via Crucis, or The Way of the Cross. It's a huge success, and soon thousands of people are flocking to the small town every Good Friday to witness it. Early 1960s, this is the turning point. The line between performance and penitencia begins to blur. A few penitents, driven by their personal vows, approach the organizers. They want to take their reenactment a step further. They don't just want to act out the crucifixion, they want to be literally nailed to the cross. Historical accounts point to San Pedro Cutud as the first place this happened publicly, around 1962. For safety, the penitents' arms were tied to the crossbeam, and then sterilized nails were driven through their palms. The practice soon spread to neighboring towns. 1970s, 1980s, the Catholic Church officially discouraged the practice, advising that faith could be expressed through prayer and charity, not self-harm. But for a growing number of devotees, the crucifixions became an unbreakable annual vow. At the same time, media coverage exploded, transforming the local rite in Cutud into a global spectacle. One man, Reenact, began his annual panata in 1986 as a thanksgiving for surviving a fall from a building. Over the decades, he would be crucified more than 30 times, becoming the most recognizable face of the tradition. 1990s, 2010s, the event became highly organized. Local governments, health officials, and community organizers implemented strict protocols. Medical teams on standby, pre-screening of participants, and sterilized equipment. For the devotees, however, it remained a personal prayer, not a performance. 2020-2022, the global pandemic forced an unprecedented pause. For the first time in decades, the streets of Cutud were quiet on Good Friday. Devotees like Reenact continued their vows privately, praying at home or carrying a cross through their empty village. 2023 today, the rites resumed and the crowds returned, reigniting the ongoing debate. Is this a profound display of cultural heritage or a dangerous spectacle? So, to answer our question, the passion plays, the Cenaculo, are centuries old. But the actual crucifixion by nailing is a modern development, beginning in the early 1960s in Pampanga. It endures not because of the spectacle, but because of the powerful forces that created it. Unwavering faith, sacred vows, a deep-rooted belief in healing, and a community tradition that remains, at its heart, a personal conversation with God. This is Glenn's project, Please don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share so others could also watch. And finally, hit that notification button for more videos like this. Stay with me, and I will take on the current happenings within our motherland, the Philippines. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next videos.